What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to be putting together and taking a look at the Boxory.com dust-proof display case for action figures. So this was sent to me by the Boxory. I'll put the link in the description if you're interested. And they hit me up and said, hey, are there any pieces, we really like your collection, or any pieces that you would like to display in a box for, protective purposes? And I said, yes. I've got this piece right here. This is the Lek Customs Skyfire, my favorite character. And the paint job on this is beautiful. And I have wanted to put it in something to protect the paint over time and also keep it dust free. So I'm planning to put this in here. And it does require a little bit of assembly. It comes shipped in a styrofoam box. You get these parts here and you want to separate them. They're marked. So there's A right here. There's 8 of those. There's these straight A pieces. It does say Boxory there as well. And then there's a B. You get 8 of these. And there's a B straight piece, 4 of those. And then there's for the door, I think FD stands for front door. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. And then you get FDB. Well, this is A, but you get an FDA and FDB, 4 each. And we also get these panels made out of acrylic. They did have a protective covering on it. I took it off before the review just so I could have it ready for combining. But you get, obviously, this is a cube, so you're going to get, 6 sides. So those are all the parts. It does come with a LED strip to light up the box. So we'll be putting this in there as well. It also comes with these retaining tabs, background panel locks. So it's for the background panel. I guess you can put something in there as a panel. So let's get started. And here are the instructions. It does kind of tell you all the parts. But the first step here is connect A to B. So here's A and here's B. But we need to do this, which is if your model requires an extender, which mine does, it's a bigger style box, then you connect base A to extender A, and then connect B, and then connect it to base B. So this is A, extender A, and B. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to make one of these. We have to make multiples of these. So let's go ahead and do it. So here's A. And you can tell, again, by the small piece there. And then we need extender A. Looks like this. So I believe just plug it in like that. Simple enough. And then we need a B coming down this way. It does have magnets built in. You can see them right here. So you can see they are indeed stronger magnets. That helps to keep it together. That's how you actually put it together. All right, then we got to do the other side. All right, that's one part of the frame. Let me go ahead and do the other one. Let me also just get Skyfire out of here. All right, now we got 2 of these frames built with A and B. We're going to do the FD, or front door A and B. It's the same thing. So you're going to... All right, now that we got the 2 top pieces and then we've got the 2 front door pieces, I think this is just a matter of assembling into kind of a square. This is going to be the top and bottom of the box. So A into a B, B into an A. Oops. And then another B. And again, we're going to make 2 of these for the top and the bottom of the box. All right, next we're going to insert the acrylic panels into these frames. Easiest way I found is just disconnect it where the long piece connects. And then we're going to slide this into here. There's like a slot on the top and bottom that this is going to fit in between on this frame. So get this in here. and fit this around. All right, something like that. And then go ahead and take the rest of the frame and make sure those panels are fitting inside the slots. All right, before I do this last one, this one requires 3 little pins to hold it together. There's actually a hole on 3 of the sides. So you can see right here, there's one hole. And you want to line it up. And then you're going to take these little pins, push it through the hole. You can actually hold on to it. And then on the other side, you're going to use this smaller pin that fits inside of it and just snap that in place. And that'll hold it. The purpose of this is to be a background holder. So you can put a background in here. You know, if you've got like a picture or cardboard or something that you want to put in there. I don't have anything I'm going to put in there right now. Maybe over time I'll get something. But go ahead and do this on all 3 sides so that it's locked together. You're just leaving one corner open. All right, now we got all 6 panels assembled, we can put the LED lights into one of these top pieces. I mean, one is the bottom, one is the top. So just pick one. And go ahead and grab your light strip here. And actually not sure how this is wired. Okay, USB. So it does have a USB. So we're going to take this off of here. And let's just unravel this. Oh, they give you a lot. Okay. And basically we're going to run this around this unit here. All right, before I leave this step, I just wanted to show you, you do need to insert the LED this way through one of the corners. Each corner has a hole like this. And then remove the backing and start applying it. So I actually just did it like I have a little extra in each corner. So I have it all the way around, and then there was enough to go a little bit more on one side. So I'll probably put that towards the back, but I just wanted to mention you have to insert that before you start peeling it. All right, now let's put this box together. And I have to tell you before we do that, that the instructions that I received, that paper that I showed you earlier, is actually incorrect. They have a new version of the instructions. He sent me that through a link on their website. That instructions is definitely better and works better, but it was a frustrating experience using the wrong instructions. Specifically, you need to have these panels assembled differently. So the side is different than the front and the back. And what you really want to do is have A's and B's matching up, right? The A's and B's have magnetic poles that are opposite. So if you try to put an A and A together, it'll repel. So basically the front and back panels have, at least on the way I did it, have B's for these magnets and then A's for the side magnets on here so that they'll attract. Same for the top and bottom, right? This bottom panel has B's on one side and A's on the other side. So you got to have the panel set up with that in mind, right? As long as you have opposing magnetic poles on each, you should be able to assemble it. Also remember, this is the back. So this has the pins, 3 pins holding the thing together. I actually left this pin out so that I could more easily insert stuff. But I'm even not sure if I'm even going to insert it just because it's a little frustrating to put it back together. But go ahead and you'll see it'll kind of snap together on its own. I recommend like holding up against the wall for the first one. That's one panel done. This is the back panel. So just keep yourself oriented. What's the front and the back? Then we're going to put in the side panel. Same thing. Make sure the magnet attaches and get these into the grooves, the little clips. And then now we're going to attach the side here. So it works the exact same way. Every corner is the same. There we go. Should snap together like that. All right, now we'll do this one. All right, next we'll attach the top panel, which has the LED light, taped on there, and the wire goes through one of the slots on the top. And make sure you line it up with the A versus B, just like you did on the bottom. And you want the wire on the back, so make sure you threaded it in the right spot. Right, but get this attached just like the others. A little bit easier now that we've got the other 4 sides in. All right, final steps here is to get our figure in here and put on the front door. Now, you can display a background in here. It's better, it works better with like a piece of paper printed. Cardboard is maybe a little too thick. If I was doing this, I'd put maybe a comic in there, Jetfire comic, because that's the figure we're going to display inside this. So it's not out here, but it's a little challenging to get it in there because this comic is a little too thick. So I recommend you print a poster or something like that to put it in there. But I just wanted to show you what it might look like with that in there. All right, and now we can close up the door now that we've got the figure in there. And just recommend start on the bottom so that you get this tabbed in. Can be a little tricky. And then get the sides tabbed in. The magnets definitely help you close it, but here you go. And there it is. There is the Boxory. I think this is the plus size version. And I guess, I think it looks pretty good. It got a lot of nice area for light to get in there. All 6 sides. Putting it together is a little bit challenging. You really have to pay attention to the A and the B's in the magnets, especially if you're doing this extended one. It's much more complicated than the cube. The cube is very easy because it's just A, B, A, B, but this one complicates things. You got to make sure you've got the right matchups on the magnets. It came with another piece, and I wasn't really sure what it was for until I figured out it's a shelf. So you can put it in a shelf here, like this. And this is a guess, because it's not, again, not in the instructions, not really talked about. So make sure that's pushed in all the way. And now you've got a separate display shelf. Here's the New Age Jetfire. And then here is the G1 Jetfire. So you could do something like this, where you've got a multi-display. Works well if you've got like an alt mode, a smaller alt mode that's more flat versus tall. So you could do something like this as well. All right, before we get out of here, I just wanted to show you, I did plug in the LED. I don't have a plug close enough, but here's the button. Turn it on. This one happens to be blue. I guess they also have yellow. So if you prefer different color, I think you can get that. Let me just turn off the lights. I don't think So final recommendations on the Boxory.com display case. And I have mixed feelings about this. This was sent to me for a review. So I do want to be honest, but at the same time, I want to appreciate the company reaching out to me. And I'm not sure yet if this review will be just for members or for everybody. But I'm going to give us a 3 out of 5 partial recommendation. Now, I do think it looks pretty good. It lets a lot of light in because each side is clear. It also comes with the LEDs, although I think blue is the wrong color. White or yellow is better than the blue. But it does come with that LED as well. Plugging in it, I think, might be a little challenge for some people in their display. You need a USB connection inside your display. So if you have some other type of lighting system, you'd have to add this in addition to that. But some of the issues with this are, one, assembly. When you take it out of the box, it's kind of covered in styrofoam, and as you're working with it, you just end up getting stuff stuck to it, like hair or styrofoam pieces, and it becomes a cleanup problem. The other thing is the instructions. Now, the ones I got were wrong. They have new instructions on the website. Even those, I think it's a little bit hard to follow. So you end up taking it apart and putting it back together to try to fix it. As long as you know about the A and B magnet match, then you could probably do it right. do two sides and then do the other sides the opposite way. But it is, a little bit challenging if you've never done it before. As far as display, I think it works best with something like this, where you've got an alt mode and a robot mode. You could probably swap them. You could put the alt mode down here and the robot mode up if you want. But that fills the space a lot better. Putting a single figure, the figure has to fit the space. So if you don't have a figure that's the dimensions of the boxes they offer, then it doesn't really work. I just don't think it looked good with the single Skyfire. But with this, I think this looks really nice. So this is an option if you've got something to fill the space. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks to the Boxory for sending this for review, and we'll see you next time.
TM Reviews. What's up, YouTube fans?